So, alright, so I just got finished watching Patrick's new video, Counterbeat. If you haven't, if you don't know about Counterbeat, get on that because the dude's cool. The dude's freaking awesome. He's a good friend of mine. But yeah, just got done watching his newest video, his 10 out of 10 albums video, and so I decided I'd kind of do the same thing, but sort of in a different way because I don't necessarily have a list. This is just off of, there are a lot of albums that I own that aren't, or no, there are a lot of albums that I don't own yet that are 10 out of 10 that I need to get. But I unfortunately just don't have them yet. I'll eventually get there. But yeah, these are some 10 out of 10 albums that I happen to own that are in my collection. So I will be showing them off. And we're going to be starting out with CDs. And I actually have some albums here that I have on CD and vinyl. So, and then we're going to start off with Aborted with Retro Gore. This is hands down my favorite freaking Aborted album ever. Just, there's not a song of this that I would throw away. Just friggin' Retro Gore, Hormageddon, Termination Redux, Bit by Bit, Divine Impediment, with Travis Ryan on it. Oh my god. There's not one song on this album that I would throw away. This is the first, I've loved Aborted for a while, but this is the first one that ever like clicked with me the first second I finished it. It's so good. Next up, we have Dio with Holy Diver. Just, I don't need to say anything. It's Dio. It's Dio. The man invented power metal. He started this within metal. He started the horns. He had an incredible voice, taken before his time. What can I say? He's Dio with The Last in Line. It's just incredible, incredible power metal. Not a single throwaway song on here, and that's something that all of these albums have in common, is that there's not one song that I throw away, and while I mention specific songs, again, not one of them I would throw away. But yeah, We Rock, The Last in Line, Breathless, I Speed at Night, Evil Eyes, Mystery, oh my god. And moving on, we have Lamb of God with Sacrament. This is hands down my favorite Lamb of God album. I don't get me wrong, I absolutely adore pretty much everything that they've done, but this is next level. Walk with Me in Hell, Again We Rise, Pathetic, Redneck, Black and the Cursed Sun, More Time to Kill, Beating on Death's Door. This is amazing, like groove metalcore. I can't say much else about it. By the way, if you couldn't figure it out by the name, Aborted is death metal. And very, I'd say, pretty unique death metal, honestly. Sven's vocals are just insane. Next, we have Mushroomhead with The Righteous and the Butterfly. This, had I known about this in 2014, this would have easily been on my list. Or it would have been on one of my favorite. It would have been on like a favorites list, but I don't really make favorites lists. I think it's just my favorite pickups because I'm not good at like putting things in a numerical order and deciding like that. But yeah, this is industrial new metal, I guess you could call it. It's outstanding stuff. Jeffrey Nothing's vocals and J-Man and friggin' Waylon, even if he was a prick. Waylon, Jeffrey, Dr. F, Church, Schmatz. Just, this is just such a good album. And again, signed by the whole band, minus Waylon and Schmatz. Oh, and yeah, I guess I should continue with recommending songs. Our Apologies, Devils Be Damned, Cordy, Portraits of the Poor, We Are the Truth, Graveyard du Jour, Out of My Mind, and then the bonus tracks on this too are actually pretty decent. And here we have, quite honestly, one of my favorite albums, period. Carnifex with Die Without Hope. My God, there's no words that can properly describe how much this album actually means to me. It has helped me through some dark, dark times. I don't know. I can't properly put into words how much I love this album. I tried recording an actual review for it 3 times, and I forget if I actually have a review of it posted on my channel or not. But I'm just going to act like I don't at the moment. So yeah, uh, Dark Salvation is Dead, Dark Days, Condemned to Decay, Die Without Hope, Hatred and Slaughter, Dragged into the Grave, Rotten Souls, Last Words, Reflection of the Forgotten, and Where the Light Dies. My God, if you haven't heard this masterpiece of deathcore mixed with death metal, with black metal influences, you need to. You need this in your life. Next up, Slipknot, Point 5, The Great Chapter. This is the first Slipknot album I ever got into, and there's not one damn song in this I would throw away. Even the little ambient tracks, XIX and Be Prepared for Hell, and If Rain Is What You Want. Not one song in this I would throw away at all. And the bonus tracks too, Override and The Burden. Oh my God. Sarcastrophe, AOV, The Devil and I, Kill Pop, Skeptic, Lich, or Lek, Goodbye, Nomadic, The One That Kills the Least, Custer, The Negative One. The Negative One is legitimately my favorite Slipknot song of all time. I was in love with just Psychosocial. I never actually bothered to listen to Slipknot before, and then I discovered Psychosocial, and I thought, this is pretty good. And then I saw that they were releasing a single in like 3 days. So I was like, oh, alright, I'll see what Slipknot's all about. Dear God, it blew my freaking mind. And that album is seriously what launched them into being my favorite band ever. And then next we have Cattle Decapitation with the Monolith of Humanity. This is my first Cattle Decapitation album, and quite frankly, again, not one throwaway song. Not a one. Dead Set on Suicide, a living, breathing piece of defecating meat. My first ever Cattle Decapitation song, which I hated at first, Forced Gender Reassignment. Gristle Liquor, Your Disposal, Kingdom of Tyrants. This is an amazing death metal, death grind, even album. It's, again, freaking perfect, otherwise it wouldn't be on the list. And this is what we're listening to right now. This is Motorhead with Bad Magic. What's there to say about Motorhead, man? They don't put out bad albums. They put out albums that are subpar for Motorhead standards. And that's, yeah. They went out on the strongest note they could have ever possibly gone out on. And it still kills me to this day that Filthy Phil and Lemmy are gone. I won't be able to have a new Motorhead album. And this is the first one I ever bought on CD, too. This is the first Motorhead I ever got into. And just, seriously, not one bad song on this. Victory or Die, Shoot Out All of Your Lights, which is on right now, The Devil, Electricity, Teach Them How to Bleed, Till the End, When the Sky Comes Looking for You, and their cover of Sympathy for the Devil. Their cover of Sympathy for the Devil is flawless. I can't go back to the Rolling Stones after that. And this is my favorite black metal album of all time. I don't talk about it nearly as much as I talk about several of the other albums that are on this list. But Imperium Decadence with Priscilla Vadens, dear God, this is like atmospheric black metal masterpiece. And really the Lacrimae Mundi, A Million Moons, Ego Universalis, An Autumn Serenade, Priscilla Vadens, German black metal at the absolute finest. If they put out a vinyl reissue of this, I would buy every color that they had, which I'm actually doing for Collector Scum Life. I'm actually going to do that for the new Carnifex album. I've got the that's not on here simply because I just don't think it's had enough time to attach with me. as much as Die Without Hope has. But just like seriously, I'd buy up every possible color I could. Getting on topic. The next, we have another masterpiece of deathcore. All Shall Perish with This Is Where It Ends. All Shall Perish is highly regarded, especially on the Metal Archives, as one of the best deathcore bands there is, and I can't disagree. Divine Illusion, Procession of Ashes, A Pure Evil, Past Will Haunt Us Both, The Death Plague. This is like less death metal oriented than Carnifex, but the riffs and the solos on it are absolutely incredible. Eddie's vocals are just top notch. I can't get enough of that album. And then next we have Mushroomhead with XIII or 13. This is my first Mushroomhead album, man. This is a band that me and my buddy Pearson have bonded over, and this album specifically, it's top of the notch industrial new metal. Kill Tomorrow, Sun Doesn't Rise, Mother Machine Gun, One More Day, just the lyric, one more day to regret, gets me every time. And not in like an emotional way, just it hits. I love that. The War Inside, Almost Gone, Eternal. This is amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. Sun Doesn't Rise is easily my favorite Mushroomhead song ever. And then next, I unfortunately don't have the predecessor to this album, but this is good enough. Shinedown with Amaryllis. This is like, next to Alter Bridge, this is like hard rock at its absolute finest. Words cannot describe how much I love this album. This is like the second, like, not one bad song. I can't words today, excuse me. It's currently 4 in the morning of me recording this, so cut me a little slack. But Adrenaline, Bully, Amaryllis, Unity, Enemies, I'm Not Alright, Nowhere Kids, Miracle, I'll Follow You for My Sake, My Name, Through the Ghost. Just, you need to listen to this whole album. Again, hard rock at its absolute finest. Brent Smith's vocals are stunning. They're breathtaking. The man is a phenomenal vocalist. And next, we have some of my earliest endeavors into the more extreme side of metal, which honestly I kind of started out on, but Haste the Day with Dreamer. I know this is a lot of people's least favorites from Haste the Day, but those people have wrong personal opinions. 68, Madman, Resolve, Babylon, Sons of the Fallen Nation. Labyrinth is quite possibly the most depressing song, one of the most depressing songs I've ever heard. And keep in mind, this is coming from a guy who really freaking likes My Dying Bride. Just, I can't describe how much I love this album. This is one of the first CDs I ever owned. This is one of the first metalcore albums that I just can't get enough of. Yeah, Haste the Day with Dreamer. I love this song. The next, we have my favorite album from this band. And unfortunately, I don't own the self-titled, but Demon Hunter with True Defiance. My God. When this came out in 2012, I was absolutely breathtaking. Breathtaking. This still remains one of my favorite albums ever of all time. And just, it means a lot to me, man. This album also has helped me out through some really dark times. Just in dark times a couple years back, but now Carnifex kind of hits the spot a little more, but my problems a few years back, this is essentially the soundtrack to my summer of 2012. Crucifix, My Destiny, Wake, Someone to Hate, This I Know, Means to an End, and Dead Flowers. My God, you need this in your life. If you like metalcore, you need that. Next, we have Cattle Decapitation with the Anthropocene Extinction. Just, mind-blowingly amazing. Amazing shit. Just, I can't... It's, it's, as Kanian put it, it's essentially Monolith of Inhumanity Part 2. And there's nothing wrong with that. And while I do agree with him that cattle decapitation is good for so much more than just Travis's highs, and they may kind of get a little, like, you want to hear less of them, more of the gutturals. I can't get enough of his highs. I wish I had a range like that. Manufactured Extinct, Clandestine Waves, Circo Inhumanitas, Mammals in Babylon, Pacific Rim. Amazing, amazing stuff. That one's more death metal oriented than Monolith of Inhumanity, but you need that. And then next with Agalok with the Mantle. I'm not even going to go into detail with this one because you all know it, you all love it, and if you don't, you need to listen to this. There's literally something for everybody on this album. Yeah. I'm just going to leave it at that. And the next, I'm going to show both these off at the same time. Kind of save the... Yeah. Avenged Sevenfold with their self-titled and Nightmare. These are the first Sevenfold albums I ever really got into. They were my first rebelling against mom and dad band. While my mom really didn't care all that much about me listening to Avenged, my dad does not like Avenged Sevenfold, as I can't really tell you why. Their lyrics aren't really that bad. But yeah, just their first band that ever really sparked any controversy with my parents. And because of that, they kind of opened me into who I am now, and I absolutely love it. I can't get enough of these albums. Again, no throwaway tracks. Critical Acclaim, this is for the self-titled. Critical Acclaim, Almost Easy, Scream, Afterlife, Bronson Cocktail, A Little Piece of Heaven, Dear God. A metalcore band does country, and they do it great. I don't understand how they do. Then for Nightmare, the self-titled track, Welcome to the Family, Danger Line, Buried Alive, So Far Away. Oh my god, So Far Away still hits me deep. God Hates Us, Tonight the World Dies, Fiction. You guys need that in your life if you like metalcore. And then next, with Amon Amarth with Odin on our side, this is just amazing, amazing melodic death metal. This is the pinnacle of pretty much anything that Amon Amarth has ever done. And if they can ever match this, I will be genuinely, like, giddy, like a schoolgirl. I love this album so much. This is, like, again, the first Amon Amarth album I ever got into. Valhalla Awaits Me, Runes to My Memory, Gods of War Rise is by far the best track on this album. My favorite track from Amon Amarth, period. Cry of the Blackbird, Prediction of Warfare. If you like melodic death metal and you haven't for some reason heard of Amon Amarth, and more specifically this album with Odin on her side, you need it. Ooh. And next, we have Ancestor with Omen. My god. This is... The Forsaken is still my favorite Ancestor album, but I unfortunately don't own it. But the wait for this for me was unreal, man. I heard The Forsaken, and I waited around for probably about 4 years for this, after I had first heard The Forsaken, which, again, that was my first black metal album that I ever heard. And then I kept hearing things from my dad and one of his buddies, I can't remember his name for the life of me, but about, they're supposed to be recording a new album, and lo and behold, this thing comes out. Not a single throwaway track. Treacherous Domain, Unchained. They did a music video for that. If you can find the Unchained music video, don't necessarily watch it, because it's just the band playing, but listen to the song. And this is done on a budget of $0. And no budget. This is like house recordings, according to the booklet anyway. Old Towers Must Fall, Torn Apart, and Tilflucht. Tilflucht is by far one of the most beautiful tracks I've ever heard. Benighted and Morkit's Road. If you want absolutely amazing black metal, you need Omen or yeah, Omen in your life. I was gonna call it Omens for a second. Jesus. And next, As Lay Dying with Awakened. This is As Lay Dying's. I'm assuming it's going to be the last album, which upsets me really because they're the first. Not the first. Demon Hunter's the first metalcore band. They're like right up there with Haste the Day. I can't really switch either of them out for either. And this has got to be my favorite As Lay Dying album. Cauterize, A Greater Foundation, Whispering Silence, No Lungs to Breathe, Dear God, Defender, My Only Home, Tear Up My Eyes. Solid metalcore. And then continuing with the trend of metalcore and As Lay Dying, this is An Ocean Between Us. This is the first As Lay Dying album I ever heard. And to this day, it still remains. It's almost my favorite. Almost. Awaken beats it by just this much, but still no throwaway tracks. Separation, Nothing Left, since they're meant to be listening to in tandem. An Ocean Between Us. The Sound of Truth. This Is Who We Are. My God. Next, and the last for this only the CDs, is Triptychon with Melodic Chasmata, or Chastma, or Chastma, or whatever. I love Triptychon. I love Triptychon. Oh god, this is the end. Oh, I love this song. Sorry. Yeah, like blackened doom metal with hints of death metal in there. It's absolutely stunning stuff. I don't really hold this as in high regard as Sean does, but I don't really do the same with Monotheist either, so it's whatever, you know? But yeah, Tree of Suffocating Souls, Boleskine House, Aurora is by far my all-time favorite Melodic Chasmata song ever. Black Snow, Waiting, amazing stuff. If you like doom metal, like blackened doom metal that's good, you need this. You need Melodic Chasmata. And again, continuing on the trend of Triptychon, Epistera Daimones. I weirdly don't have Melodic Chasmata on vinyl, but I have Epistera Daimones. I just haven't really looked for Melodic Chasmata. But yeah, this is pretty much a continuation of Monotheist by Celtic Frost, which I don't have, but I honest to God, I think Epistera Daimones is actually better than Monotheist. Maybe it's just been a little bit too long since I've listened to it, but to Monotheist, but it's just under Melodic Chasmata. Just under. Gotaya, Abyss Within My Soul, Shrine, Myopic Empire, My Pain, My God. That's an absolutely stunning album that you all need in your lives ASAP. And next, we have my favorite album by this band, and one that just, it means a lot to me. Magua with Exercise in Futility. I own this on both formats that I care about. Don't really care for CD, or not CD, stupid, tape. But if I could, I'd get it on tape, but I don't think Northern Heritage sells it on tape. There's not a single bad song on this album. The guitar, this is one of the best albums of last year. Polish misanthropy at its absolute finest. Just Exercises 1, 5, and 6 are by far probably the best tracks on this album. Next, we have Iron Maiden with Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, the first Maiden album I ever heard, and still remains my favorite to this day. Just, if you don't know this album, you need to get on it, especially if you're a fan of NWO BHM or New Wave of British Heavy Metal. You need this in your life. This is really kind of synthy compared to a lot of other Maiden albums, but that doesn't change the fact that it's freaking amazing. Moonchild, Infinite Dreams, Can I Play with Madness, The Evil That Men Do, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, The Clairvoyant, The Prophecy, Only the Good Die Young. This is an amazing 10 out of 10 album, and you need this in your life. And the next, we have the artist without whom I honestly probably wouldn't be listening to a lot of music that I am today. Dio with Holy Diver. I've already gone over it with the last in line. The man freaking invented. He pretty much made power metal. He started the horns. Stand Up and Shout. Holy Diver. Gypsy. Don't Talk to Strangers. Straight Through the Heart. Invisible. Rainbow in the Dark. Shame on the Night. You guys need this in your life if you're a fan of power metal. You need it. And the next, we have Bolt Thrower with For Victory. Those Once Loyal is my favorite Bolt Thrower album, but I don't have it. I'm hoping Earache will do a reissue of that soon. But, because I will buy everything I can of Those Once Loyal. With this, Bolt Thrower are essentially masters of death metal, riff gods, if you will. War, When Glory Beckons, For Victory, Armageddon Bound, Silent Demise, Forever Fallen. You need this, especially if you like death metal and you like it filled with riffs for days. Just catchy riffs. You need that. And then here's another album that I will never, ever, ever shut up about. Carcass with Surgical Steel. I've talked about this album to death. You all know it. You're all sick of it. But dear God, there's absolutely no other Carcass album that will ever be able to replace Surgical Steel to me. I love this album. Love it. There's nothing that means more to me in the Carcass discography than Surgical Steel. This is like the best return, almost one of the best returns ever. 1985, The Thrasher's Abattoir, Cadaver Vouch Conveyor System, The Master Butcher's Apron, Non-Compliance to ASTM F89912 Standard, The Granulating Dark Satanic Mills, Unfit for Human Consumption, and Mount of Execution. My God, you need this in your life if you like death metal. And the final album, and the last one that you all know, I will never ever shut up about it because this album means absolutely everything to me. And if you haven't guessed it by now, it's Behemoth with the Satanist. Pardon me. God, I love Gatorade. If you don't know this album, you need this. I'm going to leave it at that. And I'm just going to go into tracks you need to listen to. The whole album, preferably. But Below Your Trumpets, Gabriel. Messe Noir. Ora Pro Nobis Lucifer. The Satanist, self-titled track. In the Absence of Light. And O Father, O Satan, O Son. Those are the best tracks on this album. There's not a second of this album that I would throw away for absolutely anything. And if you like Behemoth, you need this. This is the first Behemoth album I've ever heard, and an album that means absolutely the world to me, the world over. I will never be able to describe how much this album means to me, or convey it properly, and you just need to go listen to it. So that's been me rambling for 30 minutes. Thank you for joining me. And, yeah, if you haven't checked out Patrick yet, you need to. So, yeah, peace.